Well, Nick, you got the last bus out of Flushing Meadows. You're home. Been a big day at the office. You've just witnessed Novak at his absolute best. Probably the best 3 sets of tennis. Would you say he's played this whole tournament to get through to a semi-final and still keep this incredible dream alive to win the calendar slam and to surpass Roger and Rafa for the most majors?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Sets 2, 3 and 4 were brilliant, Brett. Just 10 unforced errors collectively for 3 sets against one of the biggest hitters in the game. Once he started to read the serve, there was an inevitability about it, just putting more balls in play, getting it to the backhand side of Berrettini, which we know is still a little bit vulnerable. But the way, he started to take the ball a bit earlier, I always felt kind of in the matchup as a whole, even though there were a bit of frustration at the end of the first, you just always got the feeling with Djokovic that it's a comfortable matchup this for him. Over 5 sets, Berrettini's got a red line, and he redlined for a set in the game, and you just knew that physically there just wasn't anything left after that. And as we keep coming back to these best of 5 sets at majors, they challenge everybody else to sustain a level that is most players can't attain to.
I think sustain's the best word there, because you're right. I mean, Berrettini, as he's done at the French and Wimbledon, was able to take a set and be in the match. But yeah, trying to sustain it against the best hard quarter and the returning of Djokovic. I mean, it is absolutely sublime. You think maybe you can get through your service games, but he just puts so much pressure on you.
Yeah, he does. I mean, there is. I think with Berrettini, there's still an imbalance in terms of his forehand and backhand side that is a bit vulnerable. The return game of Berrettini, I think, is still something to improve, and that's the good news for the That is the good news for the Italian long term. He's world number 8 with still a few holes in his game. Hopefully, he can tidy them up a little bit. But we always talk about spending time on court with the best players in the world, how you will find out where your game's at, and I think Berrettini's definitely found that out. And physically, he looked pretty tired, I have to say, at the end as well. I think he was pretty worn down by what Djokovic produced. But, some of the tennis, as you say, from Djokovic in sets 2 and 3, just the quality of the ball striking, how early he was taking it. It's ominous.
All right, it's over to Sasha.
Yeah.
Next in line, can he somehow exploit Novak? I know he's done it at Tokyo, and I know they played that. Was it a quarterfinal at the Australian Open this year, where he stretched him? But here we go. He's had an unbelievable period. He's on a great winning streak. He's had a very, very good US Open. Can he find a chink in Djokovic?
The most startling statistic, Brett, which you may or may not be aware of Zverev, is that he has not beaten a top 10 player at a major yet. How incredible is that? 0 for 10. He is yet to be the top 10er at a major. Now, statistics are there to be broken. We know that. It's not going to last forever. Of course he's going to do that. But it would be a big ask, wouldn't it, to do so, to have his first one against the world number 1. Yeah. Clearly, he has a more complete game than Berrettini in terms of his ability to hurt off both wings. Similar matchup, obviously, in terms of the serve. We were discussing tonight that in many ways the Berrettini serve has been a good little feeler for Djokovic, because Brooksby and Nishikori were not big servers. Now he's faced a big server, so he's got that element to his game in order. It's a tough one to call. You still have to say that Djokovic is, for me, a substantial favourite. The intangible, the unknown is how he feels getting closer. Patrick McEnroe obviously asked him tonight. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to think about it. Yeah. So it's obviously it has to be in his head. And we don't know how he's going to cope with that over the next 2 matches. Zverev is definitely dangerous, without question. He has the capabilities to put Djokovic under pressure from the back of the court.
I mean, there's been so many significant moments in tennis this year, but this would be the big moment, wouldn't it? If he dethroned Djokovic, undefeated at the majors this year, world number 1 at his peak. I mean, we're talking about changing of the guard, not the full completion of that, but a significant moment.
Yeah, it is. And I think, it was funny in the interview because Djokovic mentioned tonight that he was setting a break up on Zverev in Tokyo. And I think, it was almost like a little reminder that I shouldn't really have let you back in, but I did.
Yeah.
So he knows he's got the tools. I think tactically we may see him use it to the slice backhand a bit more. That's been the one area I think that players have got to Zverev at times by using the slice backhand, keeping the ball a bit lower, asking him to come in a bit more. Zverev had a bit of a wobble today as well. You have to say, up 2 sets and 4-love. He just disappeared for about 5 or 6 games before getting it back. So, yeah, it's Djokovic all the way, isn't it? For me, in terms of how his level of tennis, it's just how the mind copes.
And Emma Raducanu, that is the other story of the day. I mean, this is incredible. I've been doing that many radio crosses, peeling off numbers. Everyone's been asking me, who's Emma Raducanu? And tell us a bit about her story and where she's come from. Well, I mean, I've heard her twice interviewed on ESPN this week, and she's just really polished. Seems to have a good balance. I mean, she's just finished out of school this year, and I don't know, She just seems very well measured. Fernandez are all impressive, the way they speak, these young girls. But yeah, look, once again, I mean, she was down early, took just a bit of time to settle into Ash, but got her game going, was superb. And to play Maria Sakkari, what a win for her against Pliskova.
Incredible composure, wasn't it? Down love 30 in both service games at the end as well, Brett, so just to keep it together. Technically very, very sound, isn't she? I keep getting it wrong. I keep saying she's going to lose. So far fall from me, because there's a lot of people obviously who have seen her play. I watched her play last summer, as I said to you, at the Battle of the Brits. She played domestically a lot last year in Great Britain while she was studying. The parents weren't very keen for her to travel. So she did a lot of work in terms of tidying up her game. Andrew Richardson, who's her coach, worked with her from a young age. She's had a lot of different coaches. There's been a lot of different voices. It's quite unique the way they've kind of approached it. But she is very, very sound technically. And, competing on these big stages, she looks very much at home. So Maria Sakkari is going to be interesting because, it's a big moment for her. And you sort of feel like I get the sense that there's a surprise element to Emma's game still. A lot of players don't really know how good she actually is, and she's caught a few players by surprise. And I think Maria will be ready for her, but, it's under the lights. First match for Emma under the lights as well. That's another consideration tomorrow night. She's played during the day. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I probably think Sakkari's a favourite, but I thought everyone else is a favourite to beat Emma, and I've been proved wrong.
Yeah, look, it tips this nightmare on the women's side, to be totally honest. So whatever we say, probably will go the opposite. I mean, it would be incredible if we had 2 teenagers in a final, but I don't know. You still feel like, I think you mentioned it when we've spoken this week, you still feel like Sabalenka is the best equipped, but she's still got to execute under pressure, and we'll wait and see how she handles the occasion as well, knowing that she's sort of got this favouritism now with what's left in the draw.
Definitely. Yeah, that's going to be a big thing for her to carry, isn't it, going forwards? And we know her major record up until Wimbledon was pretty average. But she certainly has the tools. Leylah Fernandez, obviously, we've got two teenagers in the draw, 2 players with little or no experience at this stage of a major. They seem to be riding a wave. They seem to be playing pretty freely, which is the counter argument to the lack of experience. So yeah, I feel like Sabalenka can push Fernandez off the baseline, but as we have seen with Sabalenka in the past, when she's not playing well, things tend to unravel pretty quickly. And let's hope that she can, for her perspective, that she can serve well, dictate the points, and keep the ball in the court ultimately, because if she can, she certainly has the overwhelming game to, I feel, win the US Open here.
All that to come. The 2 semis, of course, at night, as they have been at the US Open for a little while now. So I think a bit of rain in New York tomorrow, but they can close the roof. So we'll see how the weather looks for tomorrow night, New York time, and should be a couple of great semi-finals. And the men to look forward to on Friday. Thanks, Nick. I'll let you get some sleep, mate, and really appreciate you joining us.
Cheers, Brett.